Okay, so here is going to be a tutorial on how to update, the DNS and use custom DNS for a domain name. So anytime I'm doing things like this, the first thing you got to do is you always got to kind of like lay out your game plan, because what we're actually going to be doing is taking down the website and then putting it back up. And so you want that to go as smoothly and quickly as possible. So in a nutshell, what we're going to do is we're going to go into GoDaddy and we're going to load the domain name, in this case autoinsurance.info. We're going to change the name servers from its existing ones, which are the name servers provided by HostGator, and we're going to use GoDaddy's default parked name servers. And then we're going to wait while that updates, and then we're going to update GoDaddy's DNS manager and tell it the domain is at HostGator's IP address. And the reason we're doing it that way versus the current way is the current way we have everything on HostGator as far as the DNS and stuff. And so if that server were to go down, not only would the website go down, but any email or stuff like that would go down because the server is managing the DNS. So what we're doing is we're kind of backing up a level and we're saying, hey, we want GoDaddy to manage the DNS, so that if our server goes down, sure, the site won't work, but at least our email will still work, because GoDaddy will then say, hey, our MX records are still pointing over here at Google, and we're not reliant on the server to manage our MX and our DNS records for email, the website, and all that. So if that conceptually makes sense, let's get to work. So we log into GoDaddy, we load the domain. So here I am on GoDaddy, autoinsurance.info. I'm on the domain manager, and you can see here's the name servers. So it's saying anything with this website, go to these two name servers, which are on HostGator, and then the DNS will be managed there. And what we're going to do is we're going to replace that, and we're going to manage the DNS over here. So the first thing we got to do is we got to set our name servers. And I'm actually taking down the website as we speak. I want to park my domains and say OK. So it's doing that, and as soon as this updates, the website will be down. And again, the reason we're doing this is because we're going to take advantage of GoDaddy's, kind of DNS platform, and that presumably will never go down. And that allows us to kind of separate our email from the website. Typically, you'll be doing the DNS management on the server itself, and then if the server were to go down, the website and the email go down. In this case, if the server were to go down, we'll still have email functionality. Of course, the website will still be down because it's on the server. So this takes a second. We'll refresh the page, and what we're looking for is this DNS manager here. And as GoDaddy's updating its records, it'll say soon, oh cool, I see that you're parking, and you can see these have updated. And so then it'll give us access to the DNS manager, and then that's where we can go in and we can update the A record and say, hey, the website is at the IP address of HostGator, and then we can also say, and we're using Google's MX records. All right, so that took about a minute, but you can see now we have this, and of course this is their default IP address, so if you were to maybe go look on your iPhone on 3G or something at autoinsurance.info, it'll probably bring up a GoDaddy parked page. So let's fix that. So what I was able to do is we just took care of this step. Now we're going to update the A record to point to our IP address. So I'm going to take the IP address, I'm going to go over here and click the edit link. And again, I want to work quickly here because every second I wait is the website being down somewhere. For the most part, no one will even know it if they were to go to the website, because the internet hasn't refreshed and hasn't kind of noticed the updated DNS. So probably no one will even notice this, especially because it's a low traffic site. But if you are doing a change like this in the future and to a high traffic site and it has to be done, then as far as I know, this is the best way to do it, and do it in the middle of the night sometime, like on a Saturday night or something. While we're just kind of waiting for that to update, I'll just kind of point out this other stuff. Here's like a bunch of CNAME records. So this means if someone were to go to e.domain.com or e.autoinsurance.info, it'll forward to email.secureserver.net. So this would be if we wanted to have GoDaddy manage our email, which we don't. So what we can do is we can just do a little cleanup in here, and we'll just get rid of all this crap. There's none of these are necessary. This just allows you to say, hey, I want to use pop.autoinsurance.info. So sometimes you want to offer that, but for the most part, we don't want to offer anything other than www, which of course will then forward to @ which is a special way of saying it just goes to the same IP address as our main domain. Now here's our MX records. So here's where we'll be updating these for Google Apps. So first I'm just going to kind of save all that deletion I just did. And so then the way this works is Google Apps says, hey, if you're sending us your email, you have to update your MX records to the Google servers. So we'll do that in a second. And then again, so just conceptually, if you're not with me yet, I'll try to explain it one more time. Someone goes to autoinsurance.info. It goes to GoDaddy's name servers, because that's what we just changed. GoDaddy's name servers says, hey, we're hosting that information, so go to this IP address. Same thing for www. Go here, go to this IP address, which is HostGator, and then that will show our website. So we'll be good there. But it'll be, if it's an email request, it'll then say, okay, first go to GoDaddy's name servers. Okay, we're managing the DNS here. Do we have any MX records? And this is where we're going to add the Google MX records, which will then say, oh, cool, they're using Google for their email, so send them over to Google. So this is really the key right here. This zone file here is really what's managing and kind of explaining to the internet where all our services are located. In this case, hosted at GoDaddy, hosted at HostGator, and email shortly at Google. And if you're not sure where to get the IP address, there's a variety of ways to get it, but I just went into cPanel, and then over here on the left, you can expand this little stats deal, and you'll see our dedicated IP address for this server is this. That's how I got that. And then as far as configuring your MX records, because that's what we need to add next, I just Googled, Google Apps MX records for GoDaddy, and this is the first result. And so here's exactly what we're looking for. So we're just going to gradually copy these. Be careful not to copy the last period. Don't ask me why they do it that way. It's just the way they do. So you have your host, just what they say. Your priority, what they say. Host is always at, points to that. And we'll do a few more. So now we got 5. And we got this one. Also at 5. And we got this one at 10. So this is just kind of telling the internet, yes, we're using Google Apps for email. And we'll give it 5 kind of options in case one of their servers is down or maybe slow or whatever. So it's just kind of a way of covering our bases, kind of like how you have multiple name servers. So we got that. We're cool there. This all still looks good. We click Save again, so we're updating our zone file again. Now, it might make sense to kind of do all these updates at once. I've never really tested. It doesn't seem to matter. But I kind of like to make sure I get the most important one done first, and then I can do these at any time, and it doesn't seem to make a difference. But obviously, we don't want to have the website getting screwed. So again, that's how you do that in a nutshell. And then when you're actually setting up Google Apps, it'll ask you, okay, have you updated your MX records to point to us? And realize this might be screwing up your email. But we know what we're doing, so we can get out of there. And we're cool here. And what I like to do is I like to kind of just go back to the domain manager. Once I've made those changes, I like to just make sure that this all looks good. So we know we got our name server set for GoDaddy's part. And we know we got our DNS manager set for these custom values, HostGator and Google Apps. So we're done. Now what we need to do is just keep a close eye on it for the next day, maybe the next couple hours especially, and make sure everything's looking good as normal. And if for whatever reason it's not working, all we got to do is we can just revert back to how we were by just changing the name servers back to the original values, and then that will kind of skip all this stuff right here, and it will just forward everything to HostGator, and it will work as it was working before, but we won't have Google Apps then. Cool! Hope you get it. Bye.